Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 2 of Theater 162, stage makeup. By now, you should have had plenty of practice in creating your personal makeup chart um, and kind of getting your feet wet in the basics of stage makeup. You should all have your Ben Nye student makeup kits, and that's what this video is about. I'm going to go through each of the pieces in your kit to explain kind of what they are and what they're used for, and certainly we will explore each of those things as we go through the semester. Before I get into the kit, I just want to share with you a few things that might be helpful to you throughout the semester. Of course, as I have said in the syllabus and other things, you're going to want to get yourself one of these cosmetology heads because stage makeup is so much about not only applying makeup on yourself, but it's really important to understand how to apply makeup on others. And so in these days of the pandemic, we have to be careful about touching people, particularly people's faces. So I would really urge you, these are available on Amazon. They're probably under $10. I think I got a 2-pack for $17. So if you have a friend and you want to split them, you will only need one. This is sort of the cheap version of it. This will certainly do for the class, but you're going to want to have this sooner than later for sure. In fact, I think you're going to need it for this week's assignment. I also purchased a little bit more expensive version of it, which is slightly more human-esque. It has a stand and it is a full-size head. These run about $50, so I really didn't want you to break your bank, but any version of this, of a cosmetology head, either be it the flat version that I suggested in the syllabus or the more three-dimensional version, are perfectly acceptable. As we work through the semester, and I will continue to try and remind you that always and forever, when you're working on your cosmetology head, before you put any makeup on it, you're going to want to spray it with hairspray. And the hairspray will just give it a nice thin set so that you don't stain your head, your cosmetology head, with makeup. So they're meant for makeup, but yet at the same time you want to safeguard it. So I suggest getting big old cheap can of Aquanet or Rave. These are usually $1, $2, I think $3 max. Sometimes you get them two for one. So this is Aquanet is my personal favorite. Obviously unscented is better. I don't particularly like fragrances, but this is just something that you're going to use to create a base layer before you paint any of your foundation heads. So a can of Aquanet, a can of Rave, they're inexpensive, they're aerosol. Just get yourself a can for the semester, okay? So I'll put these aside. Some of the other things I might suggest that you get for the semester are a package of elastic headbands, or some way to pull your hair back so that you can actually have your full face exposed. You're not fighting with bangs. Some of us that have less hair than others don't need these things, but these are pretty inexpensive. You can get these, I think, even at the dollar store. But it's just a nice soft headband to help you keep your hair and such out of the way. You're going to want a stash of soft cloths. This is just for wiping your face and for cleaning your face. You try to avoid using paper towels. If you start scrubbing your face with paper towels over and over and over again, eventually you will rub your poor face raw. So these are just old t-shirts that I have taken and cut up and made nice large rags out of. T-shirt material is certainly very soft and is going to be real gentle on your skin. So I just cut up a bunch of t-shirts, made myself a stack of rags, and so that I have them at the ready. They're completely washable, and if they get a little stained, it's certainly not a big deal. I generally like to lay down a towel in my workspace, so either an old towel, you can see this one has some latex or something on there from years past and some makeup stains. You can also buy these makeup pads. This is just basically a pad that is available on Amazon that gives you a place to lay your brushes, lay your makeup cakes, things like that as you're working so that you don't dirty your counter space. You just want to make sure, because makeup can get all over the place pretty quickly if you're not careful. So again, not required, but certainly suggested. You're going to want to get yourself a bottle of witch hazel or other astringent. This is a very gentle, natural astringent. It's a cleanser. that is used to treat your face both before makeup application and after. Um, Also, I suggest getting your favorite moisturizing cream as well, because while these products that Ben Nye puts out are hypoallergenic and they're meant to be used with various types of skin, if you're constantly putting makeup on your skin and washing, it will dry out. So get yourself a nice moisturizing cream. Whoops. Um, this I got at the dollar store. It's coconut oil. It has vitamin E. It's good for the skin. Um, it doesn't have to be anything terribly fancy. And certainly if you have your favorite face cream, go for it. But you want to have that at the ready just to keep your skin nice and soft. I generally also ask that students get some cleansing makeup wipes, things that help to clean off the makeup. Certainly soap and water do the job as well with your soft makeup cloths, but certainly cleaning towel or makeup removers are certainly welcome and appreciated. Your kit does come with some of these makeup sponges, and I'll go over these sponges with you, but it only comes with a few. I got these at the dollar store. It's another 28 sponges. The cleaner you can keep your sponge, and if you can use a fresh sponge every time, of course it will just be much more hygienic. So again, this is from the dollar store. Get yourself an extra packet of sponges, and you'll have them throughout the semester. I also encourage you to get a butter knife, or I like the butter knife for scraping little bits of makeup out without having to dig with your finger or use a brush. This is just a knife that I grabbed from stock. You can use plastic knife from cafeteria, anything. But to have some kind of either plastic or metal butter knife, that's going to give you a nice scraping utensil when you're trying to mix your base colors. And Grace is going to talk a little bit in our next video about how to find and create and mix your personal base color. One of the other things that I use pretty frequently is an LED mirror that I got from Amazon. We use these in the shop and certainly through makeup class. But this, I think these are probably under $20. They are an LED corded. You can also use batteries, and they flip open very nicely here. And then you can turn them on, and it gives you a nice lighted surface, a three-way mirror to give you different angles. Again, you may have a mirror that works just fine. You may be wanting to use your phone and a light ring. You just want to have a light source so you can get a well-lit photo of your face and other parts of your projects as we move through the semester. And certainly you can use your cell phone maybe with a stand and a light ring, but these are also perfectly acceptable as well. So I like these little mirrors. They've gotten us through several productions. So those I got on Amazon. There's lots of different varieties available at a pretty inexpensive price. Okay, so those are all the suggested things. Let's get into the kit. Your Ben Nye kit comes in a little box. I don't have mine in a box anymore, but I'm going to go through all of the different items. Starting with the sponges, you should have a pack of these rubber sponges that are used for application, for spreading larger areas of the face. So those, again, I suggest that you get yourself a bigger package because it only gives you a few. It also comes with a powder puff, which is used. It's great for when you're finishing your makeup applications and you want to powder over that to give you a nice pressed powder. That's a lovely powder puff there for you. And you also have a blush brush, right? This brush, generally I try to preserve it for dry rouge and brushes, but if you keep it clean, you can certainly use it for powder application as well. This comes in a little sleeve, so it's a nice soft sable brush. If you are a makeup aficionado already and you have other blush brushes or powder brushes, you are more than welcome to use those for this class, but this will certainly give you everything you need if you don't have other options. So gives you one of those. You get yourself an eyebrow brush. It's kind of this little axe-looking shaped thing that's used for combing eyebrows, and also I use it for applying hair whitener. So this is super helpful, a nice tool. Keep it clean. I guess just I should say in general that every time you use any of these things, you should clean them after each use, just to make sure that bacteria and things are not building on any of your makeups, pencils, eyebrow pencils, or brushes. So just make sure you keep all that stuff as clean as possible, and never, never, never let anyone else use your makeup. Especially in these days, make sure you're keeping your makeup preserved for you and your cosmetology head. There's this little strange black thing. It looks like packing material, but it's actually a stipple brush. And this is used for lots of different things, but primarily it's for creating texture. So you'll dip this into makeup and apply it to your skin to create rashes or burns. Also, it's really great for creating the illusion of facial hair painted on your skin. So we'll be using this. Don't lose that. It's not packing material. It is indeed a stipple sponge. You get a package of Q-tips. So you have Q-tips that have a rounded edge and a pointed edge. This is really helpful, the pointed edge, particularly when you're applying eyeliners and getting close to the eye. This allows you the opportunity to really swipe close with that pointed Q-tip. You might want to get yourself an extra stash of these, because I think you only get, what, 6 in the box. So this might be helpful if you got a few extra Q-tips. So we come with a series of pencils. There should be a black and brown eyebrow pencil eyeliner, and also a red lip liner. So these 3 pencils are in your kit. You certainly can expand if you have other additional lip liners and other eyebrow pencils. You can certainly add to them. That's not a problem. But these 3 should get you through for the class. And again, I should say, just in general with these things, I ask that you use the Ben Nye Cream Kit, but augmenting your kit with additional things as we move forward, particularly when we start projects like fantasy and art and very colorful things. I will leave it up to you to augment. If you want to add additional colors to your kit, that is completely fine. I just don't want to require you to get an entire aqua cape color. We'll talk about some of those options as we move forward, and many of those other additional things can be purchased either online or at Crazy Neighbor locally. So eyebrow pencils and lip liner, those are pretty self-explanatory. I usually like to keep a small pencil sharpener. I don't have one here with me, but keeping that in your kit close by. These get dull pretty quickly, so you want to make sure you keep those caps on them to keep them clean, as well as keeping those tips nice and sharp. Okay. You also are given 2 makeup brushes. There's kind of a wider, fatter brush for more surface area, and this is a smaller detail brush. This, again, once you start working with your technique, these should get you through the semester. There should be no problem. But if you have a series of makeup brushes, of finer brushes and wider brushes, you're more than welcome to use those for this class. But these 2 are all that you'll need to get through each assignment. So 2 makeup brushes. These usually come with a little acrylic cap, like just a little tube that lays over the brush. The cleaner you can keep these, always keep them clean. Always, when you're washing them, you're pulling away this way so you don't get the bristles. You can see this one. If I can autofocus here, let's see. Let's see if it'll do it for me. You can kind of see that this one, focus. Anyway, the bristles on this one are starting to kind of get frayed a little bit. And so you just want to make sure that you're mindful of taking care of your brushes. If possible, keep those little caps and just put them right back on there to keep your brushes nice and safe, okay? Your makeup kit is an investment for sure. We can go to some of the powders and things. You should have a tube of translucent face powder. This is the setting powder that you'll use after application of makeup. You'll put that on to help to blend and also set the makeup. So translucent face powder, that's super helpful. Nose and scar wax, this is weird stuff. We'll deal with this when we start talking about Monster Fantasy, but this is an interesting alternative to latex, and if you heat it up in your hand, you can use it to make all kinds of scars and moles and lots of things, particularly if you're playing the witch and Into the Woods. this is helpful. So nose and scar wax, it's a putty that we'll talk more about when we get to Special Effects Day. You also have a small bottle of spirit gum. This one is not real cute. I think it's starting to dry up. It's really dark in color. It should be more of an amber color like this one. This is a larger bottle that I have here in stock. But this bottle of spirit gum is used for applying facial hair and obviously any prosthetics. It's a way that it bonds to your skin. It is safe. It stinks a little bit, but we'll hopefully have some time to experiment with spirit gum. So you should have a small bottle of spirit gum. That'll get you through. You should also have a small bottle of spirit gum remover that is helpful in getting off the residue of spirit gum once you've used your fake appliance of facial hair or prosthetics. You should also have a small bottle of stage blood. We will certainly talk about ways that you can make your own stage blood. This is helpful just in when we're doing wounds, bruises, and scars. It gives you at least the basics. This one is mint flavor, so it is safe to consume. But Grace has a lot of tips on ways to make fake stage blood. There are also other versions of blood that are not quite as runny that we'll share with you when we get to wounds, bruises, and scars. But you should have a little bottle of stage blood, lots of fun. You should have a bottle of either silver gray hair color or snow white. It depends on the kit and where the kit was produced, but some of them have snow white, some of them have silver gray. This is essentially for aging and coloring in beards and temples and things like that. We'll share that when we get to Old Age Day. So you should have either one of these. More than likely, it's probably going to look like this bottle rather than this bottle. Okay. This is a makeup remover. This does not, Ben Nye Quick Cleanse. I don't think this comes in your kit, but it certainly is very helpful. You can get this online. Any kind of makeup remover or brush cleaner is going to be helpful to keep in a cup to clean your brushes as you go along, particularly when you're working between different colors. Things can get pretty muddy pretty quick. So again, I don't think this comes in your kit, but it certainly might be helpful to get yourself some kind of quick cleanse or brush cleaner. It doesn't have to be Ben Nye, but certainly this works really well. So that's kind of it for the extra pieces. You should now also have, we'll go to the cakes here. So you've got several different color cakes. I'll move them all into the camera here so we can see them. These three white, creamy, sort of peach ones. Now everyone's going to be a little different depending on what color kit that you've gotten. This, I believe, is for the TK1, the lighter of the kits. And it gives you sort of a light, a medium, and a darker version of a base that these may or may not match your skin. And so one of your first exercises this week is to actually figure out your recipe for your base color. So these are your three base colors that are given in your kit. Oftentimes, if you take it, kind of rub it on your hand, I can tell already just by looking at that that's going to be pretty light for me. And so I'm going to want to mix and match these in a way that I'm going to find my personal skin tone. And so there's instructions on assignment 1, and Grace will do a video tutorial for you just to explain how to find your base color. So these three are cream base colors that can be mixed and blended. Remember our friend the knife, right? The knife is great when you're trying to get like a decent amount. If you're trying to mix colors, to have a plastic knife or a metal knife to kind of scrape it off to get yourself a nice chunk of makeup. It's just easier than trying to get it with your brush or your finger. So Grace will be speaking more on that in our next video. So those are your three base colors. You also have three creams, a white, a medium, and a dark. So this is like an ultra white for super, super white highlights, things like that. This is another highlight, right? Sort of a more natural tone highlight. And then, of course, you have a character shadow, which is for your contouring and darker shadow, the illusion of darker shadows. So those three are going to be your friends very much this semester. We also have a character cream wheel, which comes with not only shadows, a dark brown shadow, there's a black, there is a lip color here. This kind of browny red is a lip color, and this brighter pink is a considered a cheek color. But certainly all of these are cream makeups. They can be used to blend with any of the other cream bases. The other thing that we have that's like one of my favorite things is the bruise wheel. You should have one of these, and this bruises and abrasions. And this gives you a yellow, kind of a ruddy red-brown, kind of a purpley blue, and a nice bright red. And this is going to be a nice resource for you to make some disgusting bruises and abrasions. I think the last thing in the kit is a little pink palette here, which should be your dry rouge. And so this looks kind of like the other creams, but it's actually a compacted powder, and it's used for cheek and chin color, essentially. Sometimes you can use your finger, or you can use a blush brush to apply it, but this is a dry rouge, and that comes in really, really handy. So that's about it in terms of the nuts and bolts of your kit. If you have questions about anything, you're not quite sure how something works, please feel free to reach out to either myself or Grace. What I will say about all of these things is that you should experiment, right? We're going to move at a steady pace, but certainly the first couple of weeks are the basics of makeup. That does not mean that you can't take the opportunity to explore your kit. Blend things together. Start practicing now, right? You'll be better for it in the end. Okay. Well, I hope you all have a terrific week. I'm super excited to see what you all come up with. So please, again, let me know if you need help, and off you go.